Hello everyone, this is Dr. Jaden. Welcome to Yi Ming Medicine. Bazi Intermediate 2. How to interpret Da Yun with yearly or monthly yun. Let's get started. I'm uploading this video because of the situation of Kim Jong-un these days, the supreme leader of North Korea. There are lots of rumors right now because he has been disappeared for about 2 weeks. So some people say he might have a heart attack or stroke, becoming a vegetative state, or he's already dead, something like that. But there's no official announcement yet, so I tried to look at his chart. I'm not sure this is his real chart or not. Especially his birth time is not officially recorded, but I think his birthday is right. Let's say this is his real birth time, because I think we can learn and review a lot from this chart. There are lots of levels we can interpret the aspect of Da Yun with yearly or monthly yun, but I will try to interpret based on what we have learned so far. The yearly pillar of this chart is Gui Hai, in water stem with in water branch. The monthly pillar is Yi Chou, the in wood over winter earth that stores metal. The daily pillar is Shin Chou, in metal on the winter earth. Again, this one also stores metal in it. And the hourly pillar is Gui Si, in water with in fire. First, there is the part of water seasonal combination. So we need to see the time when Zi water comes. But anyway, these three characters are all winter time. So we can think the temperature of this chart is basically very cold. Next, this Si Chou is the part of triple combination of metal. So if Yo metal came, they will become huge metal energy. Therefore, this chart becomes strong metal chart. The daily master is supported by these two earth that contains metal, so metal itself is also relatively strong. There is enough water energy which can take a huge role in this chart, which means this person is able to enforce his power enough because his input source and output is basically somewhat balanced. His wood energy is supported by water here, but it is on the winter earth, so I consider this wood as a relatively weaker element. The problem of this chart is fire element. Again, the hourly pillar of this chart is officially unknown, but if this is right pillar, this Si fire is the part of metal triple combination. So it might be tricky how much percentage this fire becoming metal. However, even if we do not think about the combination, first, the temperature of this chart is too cold, so it is already drained by this winter earth and is controlled by water at the same time. Also, it is far from the wood on the monthly stem to get support. So if we put all together, fire is considered as the weakest element. Again, the birth time of this chart is officially not proved, but the partiality of dominant energy is already in cold earth and metal. Therefore, I think this chart is strong but really cold. In order to make a true balance and glory, it desperately needs wood and fire, the yang energy. In the case of this chart, wood is what daily master controls, meaning money in general, or romantic relationship or wife for a male chart. Fire is the element that controls daily master, which indicates the honor in general, and children for a male chart. We will discuss about this later about the 10 spirits, but here the wood is wealth element and fire is officer element. Basically, Kim Jong-un's personality is very straightforward, and his talking or behaving style is refreshingly efficient and cool. These are the quality of strong charts. He is a natural leader. As a strong metal, he is very decisive and has a good judgment in general. And we could see his brutality when he immediately purged his uncle and about 2,000 people who were related with him just after becoming a leader of North Korea. Those are all strong metal qualities that he has. However, we can say his base and power is not from himself, but from this earth. In 10 spirits theory, the element that generates daily master is not only mother, but also a grandfather on the father's side, which can be said his grandfather, Kim Il-sung, the founder of North Korea. It shows that the big part of his personality has been influenced by his grandfather because it is his dominant energy. And by coincidence, his grandfather Kim Il-sung's chart is also strong Shin metal. You can see the structures of these two charts are somewhat very similar. Let's look at the flow of Da-yun on the basis of what we've discussed about his natal chart. I usually write the flow of Da-yun from right to left, and again each number represents the age that each 10 years yun changes. If we look at his childhood, the age between 1 to 20 was water yun. Regardless it was cold or not, his childhood might be the time he can utilize his output, which he could behave whatever he wants without any restriction. This is the meaning of the element which Daily Master generates, so-called Shishan or Shangguan, which are the eating god or the herding officer. Then Renshi, yang water stem with yang earth, came from the age from 21 to 30, which was the year between 2004 to 2013. During water Da-yun, he might enjoy his freedom by metal generating water. However, in this period, he had to receive the input again and there was less output by earth generating metal. And what kind of earth is this? This earth is fall earth and stores fire and earth, but especially fire, right? So in this time, Kim Jong-un might have taken anything, might have received anything, might have learned anything that can make him store this fire energy, which is honor, which is authority, and which could give him a political power. As the strong metal, this chart isn't really welcome another earth coming, because it adds up more strength. But because this Shi earth can store fire Yang-chi, he might have to endure this time, and during this period, he was able to obtain the power structure as the pre-leader. The important point in this period is Shi earth that stores fire was obviously much better than Chen earth or Chou earth, which store water or metal. Also, if Shi earth meets wood and fire branches, it almost acts like fire. For example, the years from 2010 to 2015 were the small cycles of wood and fire. Kim Jong-un officially first showed up for a public appearance in 2010 and became the supreme leader of North Korea in 2011 after his father died. These wood and fire years were the journey that he could seize power and stabilize his political system. In this period, he has showed his political direction to the world in somewhat positive and smart ways with an ambition and generosity, I think. It is because wood and fire generally have the aspect of opening and expanding, benevolence, and courtesy, and also communication. However, after the age 31, strong in-metal Da-yun started. What can you guys see here? Right, the triple combination of metal has been completed, which means his metal energy becomes huge. Therefore, everything has been affected by this strong metal, which means himself now has to be really independent without support. And in other words, we can say he doesn't listen to other people anymore. He was a smart and open-minded guy because his wood and fire energy has been somewhat balanced for several years, but suddenly he became a strong metallic person, which might make him more stubborn and more self-egoistic. The most important thing in here is that this strong metal controls wood extremely, so wood cannot generate fire well enough, making fire cannot really expand. Therefore, wood and fire both have been weaker in this period. Especially Su fire on the hourly branch became metal triple combination, which means fire has been losing its function. So Kim Jong-un has not been good at communication, not good at being benevolent or merciful. And it especially began from 2016 when metal season began. And as we discussed in Batsa Intermediate 1, if a strong chart meets the friendship elements, they behave like rivals, right? Again, the friendship elements are same 5 elements as Daily Master. For example, this chart's daily master is metal, so any metal stems or branches are friendship elements. And especially friendship elements on the heavenly stems tend to become rivals or competitors more. Therefore, in this period, he could create some competitors and enemies because he might stop expanding, sharing, communicating, and might become more stubborn. Let's look at a different picture. In Shin-Yo Dayun, the triple combination of metal is formed. And from 2016, you can see how this chart has been going into yin seasons. It is the process of losing wood fire yang-qi, which we can say the function of wood and the function of fire in this chart are somewhat not functioning very well in terms of personality and mind and also health. Now this year, Gangzi came. First, what we can see is one more metal comes on the heavenly stem, which is one more friendship element that can act as a competitor for 1 year. This could be a real competitor because it is yang metal. In earthly branch, Zi water comes, which is the exuberance branch of water, and it creates the seasonal combination of water with hai and cho. Therefore, water energy gets stronger this year. The triple combination of metal already controls wood strongly, and now seasonal combination of water controls fire. In winter as a deep yin season, if water controls fire too much like this, fire tries to overcome the pressure, so inner fire energy can rise momentarily. It means there could be an urgent mind that Kim Jong-un desires to gain the honor and authority because they are suppressed by something in a competitive relation. Secondly, there could be an urgent mind that this person desires for his children to grow and gain power more to transmit the dictatorship because they are still young and weak. In a medical perspective, fire governs whole circulatory system, including heart and blood vessels. So in this period, his circulatory system tries to recover and overcome its pathological state urgently and rapidly, causing sudden fire circulation rising up. Especially when spring begins in February and March, the whole body tries to accelerate the circulatory system to recover the yang qi, especially in Zi water. And it is the image of Shaoyin imperial fire in Liu qi that happens in Zi water. In pathology, this can cause severe hypertension in this spring, and the circulatory system tries to circulate suddenly and rapidly, so sometimes heart muscles and blood vessels can be damaged, causing embolism, heart attack, or stroke. Kim Jong-un's chart already has the frozen wood and almost extinguished fire, so basically his liver function and nervous systems are not very smooth, but has lots of tension. And this shows his circulatory system was congenitally weak. Then, after triple combination of metal and seasonal combination of water formed, his nervous system and circulatory system has been worse and worse than before. We all know his body got much bigger and fatter, and he didn't look healthy these days. Now this month, Gongchen came in April. Now there is one more yang metal stem, and Chen Earth can generate metal very well. Also, Chen Earth stores water, which is definitely not good for the weak fire. In conclusion, Kim Jong-un already has a strong metal chart with lots of yin energy. And starting from the age 31, strong metal Da-yin comes, creating the triple combination of metal for 10 years. And this year in 2020, the seasonal combination of water has formed, and now in April, strong metal energy came again. The recovery and protection of wood and fire is very important in this period. But there are 4 metals who want to take this wood and fire at the same time, which metaphorically means Kim Jong-un has to compete against at least 3 more people to maintain his dictatorship power. And in other words, he is experiencing some kind of crisis that other people can harm his health or life. For example, we can say he has been in danger because of the pandemic situation, or he has been in danger because of an assassination attempt by another power due to sudden increase of competitors. Or he could have heart attack or stroke because that is the pathology what this chart has showed. So what happened? I don't know, But one certain thing for sure is now he is experiencing so much serious situation that can decide his life and death. If I see his father's or his grandfather's chart, there were similar signs that Kim Jong-un is in danger. So I think this time is the biggest crisis he can have in his life. It can be possible to say he has been hiding himself from the danger because one positive thing is that he has reliable subordinates, and he is really good at escaping. This strong water that Daily Master generates indicates his subordinates, meaning he has strong, reliable subordinates who can work for him to evacuate from a risky situation. However, it doesn't mean his heart, his circulatory system, his yang qi are safe. Those health issues are obviously in danger right now. So let's see what has happened. We will know soon, I think. I wish I could know his accurate birth time, but I chose this birth time because this hourly pillar can make us to review triple and seasonal combination at the same time in a real chart. And many people have asked me how to read Da Yun with yearly and monthly Yun. So I think I showed the basic approach how we can interpret them with natal chart. Here is the end of this video. This was Dr. Jaden. I will see you guys again with more useful and interesting topic. Stay safe. Thank you. Bye.